petitions? Are there any papers?
The annual reports of the Auckland Waikato Fish and Game Council, the Nelson Marlborough Fish and Game Council, the Otago Fish and Game Council and the New Zealand Conservation Authority. The government response to the report of the Finance and Expenditure Committee on the Inland Revenue Managing Debt. Government response to the Justice and Electoral Committee on the inquiry into the general election. Law Commission reports, review of the Civil List Act 1979 and review of Part 8 of the Crimes Act 1961, Crimes Against the Person.
Those papers are published under the authority of the House. Are there any Select Committee reports?
Report of the Commerce Committee on the petition of John Andrew Dixon. Reports of the Finance and Expenditure Committee on the 2008-9 financial reviews of Air New Zealand Limited, Television New Zealand Limited, the Inland Revenue Department, the Office of the Controller and Auditor General, the Treasury, and of the financial statements of the Government of New Zealand for the year ended 30 June 2009, and on the Reserve Bank of New Zealand Monetary Policy Statement, December 2009. Report of the Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Committee on the International Treaty Examination of the New Zealand-Malaysia Free Trade Agreement, the New Zealand-Malaysia Agreement on Environmental Cooperation, the New Zealand-Malaysia Agreement on Labour Cooperation, and the exchange of letters constituting an agreement between the Government of New Zealand and the Government of Malaysia on the Treaty on Alcoholic Beverages in New Zealand-Malaysia Free Trade Agreement. Reports of the Government Administration Committee on the 2008-9 financial reviews of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet, the Ministry for Culture and Heritage, the Ministry of Women's Affairs, the Office of the Clerk of the House of Representatives, Statistics New Zealand, the Office of the Ombudsman and the Parliamentary Service. A report of the Health Committee on the 2008-9 financial review of non-departmental appropriations for the management of residual health liabilities and District Health Board term debt and for national elective services. Report of the Intelligence and Security Committee on their 2008-9 financial review of the New Zealand Security Intelligence Service and the Government Communications Security Bureau. Report of the Maori Affairs Committee in an interim report on the Waikato Tainui Raupati Claims Waikato River Settlement Bill. Report of the Officers of Parliament Committee on the inquiry into the appointment of an Ombudsman. Report of the Social Services Committee on the 2008-9 financial review of the Department of Building and Housing. Report of the Transport and Industrial Relations Committee on the 2008-9 financial review of the Department of Labour.
The reports on the Monetary Policy Statement, the International Treaty Examination and the inquiry are set down for consideration. Are there any bills for introduction?
Electoral Disqualification of Convicted Prisoners Amendment Bill, introduction.
That bill is set down for first reading. The House now comes to questions for oral answer, and the first